Hey everybody, this is Brian with Bear Cards 34. Wasn't planning on making a video today, but with the passing of Steve McMichael, I just wanted to pay tribute to him through cards and just kind of sharing a little bit about Steve McMichael, one of my favorite players. Pretty much everybody on the 1985 Chicago Bears has a special place in my heart, and that definitely includes Steve McMichael. If you ever watch interviews or documentaries on the Chicago Bears, Steve McMichael was an all-pro interview. Great stories, lots of personality, lots of character. And he always said he was so proud to be a Chicago Bear, and you could really sense that. And so anyway, unfortunately, he passed away today. He has been struggling with ALS, otherwise known as Lou Gehrig's disease, for a while now. He was diagnosed, I think, back in 2021. And it's been a tough road for him, so he really has gone through a lot the last few years. And so I just wanted to kind of pay tribute to him with cards. So right here we've got the upper deck with his defensive tackle at Texas card from back when he was in college. And he had a great college career. He is part of the College Football Hall of Fame. He was inducted back in 2010 and a 1979 All-American. He was even the backup place kicker at one point for Texas. And after his very good career at Texas, he was drafted by the New England Patriots in the third round back in, I think, 1980. Now, a lot of people may not know that because he didn't really play for the team and was cut, signed with the Bears as a free agent, thankfully, in 1981. And he went on to have 101 straight starts for the Chicago Bears, had a 15-year NFL career, and he, I would say his best season statistically, in 1988, he had 11 and a half quarterback sacks, which led the team. Very impressive for a defensive tackle. And then in 1989, he had well over 100 tackles. But his best years, he was a two-time All-Pro first team, and then a three-time second-team All-Pro. Made a couple of Pro Bowls in there as well. And one of those very pivotal players for the 1985 Chicago Bears. That defense, in my opinion, is the greatest defense of all time. And there are a few other ones that you could argue are up there. Pittsburgh fans, maybe the Rams, the Ravens, a few others. There are some great defenses out there. Certainly they were my favorite, though. And so very sad to hear of his passing, but at the same time, I know that it had been a real challenge for him and his family. And he was a fighter, and he hung in there. And there was a lot of talk about, how it would be great to see him in the Pro Football Hall of Fame. And just this past year, he got his wish, and Bears fans got their wish. They were able to see him inducted, and I'm very happy that he was able to know that he was honored in that way. And they even made a card that I've got right here. This is a Panini Class of 2024 right here. So I'm just going to go ahead and show a handful of Steve McMichael's cards. I had shoulder surgery, so I'm kind of going one-handed at the moment here. So the card placements may be a little more awkward. Surgery did go well, and I'm recovering, doing the physical therapy exercises. But these are some of those McMichael cards. So the 85 rookie card, 86, 87. I always like this 88. Just looks like he's having a good day there. And just one of my favorite players. And this was the year where I felt spoiled as a collector when we had three different brands making cards. This is the Topps 1990, and then this is the Topps Tiffany version. It was the only year that Topps made the Topps Tiffany for football. Unfortunately, I really wish they would have continued that right there. But a lot of great cards. Steve McMichael was featured in many of those late 80s and early 90s cards. And one of the key members of that great team. I always liked hearing him tell stories about Walter Payton and all the defensive players. He was really good friends with them. Now, one thing I will mention, and here's a shiny newer card, one of the variations from Optic. After he retired, he went on to do wrestling. So this right here, this is the WCW. I have this wrestling card right here of Steve McMichael. His personality definitely fit that. In fact, he's even wearing a Bears shirt right there. There we go. Yeah, anyone who steps into the ring against Steve McMichael has to bear down from the opening bell. Former Chicago Bear legend with Hercules-like strength has traded in his cleats for a career in WCW. So there we go. All right, what does he say at the bottom there? Wrestling is the same adrenaline rush I got every time I walked onto an NFL field. So that makes sense for why he would want to be playing that. And here is what he was one of the 4 horsemen. So you got that card right there. Yeah, pretty great. 95 career sacks. And yeah, so he had a lot of fun with that. And then we have Pinnacle. You know, I'll tell you a little story. I'm going to go ahead and put this card. This one was painful for me. Oh, his final year was with Green Bay. And now look, a lot of my favorite collectors in the hobby are Green Bay Packer fans. So nothing but love for you. But as they would tell you, and I will tell you as well, Green Bay is a major rival of the Bears. Back when McMichael played, the Bears were getting the better end of the deal the majority of the time. However, nowadays that's not so much the case. And anyway, one of my all-time favorite quotes from Steve McMichael, I'm going to pull this up on my phone. It was after he went on to play for the Green Bay Packers. So let me find that quote real quick. Okay, here it is. Love this quote. He said, "For 13 years, I helped the Bears beat the Packers every year." Little language here, but he said, "I whooped their ass, right? So last year, I went up there on my last leg, and I wasn't any good anymore. So I stole their money and whooped their ass again." That's very characteristic of Steve McMichael. His nickname was Mongo. Great nickname for him. If any of you have seen the Blazing Saddles movie with Alex Karras, you'll kind of get that reference right there. But Steve McMichael had a lot of great cards. I don't think this is all of them, but this is certainly a lot of them right there. And just wanted to pay tribute to Steve McMichael. Really great career, great personality, loved Chicago, loved the Bears, and the Bears loved him, Chicago loved him, all of the fans loved him. And just want to say rest in peace to Steve McMichael. Really hope that his family is able to be together. I know his wife had really been doing a great job of taking care of him and advocating for him for the Hall of Fame and getting a lot of the players out there. I've seen a lot of pictures over the last few years of former Chicago Bear players and teammates who would go over to the McMichael house and pay visits. A good friend of mine who's a viewer of the channel lives nearby, and he's given me some updates as well with people that have gone by and been there with him. So anyway, yeah, it's a shame that, you know, he had these health problems at the end, but a great life and a notable one, and one of my favorite players from my childhood. So rest in peace, Steve McMichael. Hope everyone is doing well. And as always, and especially for today, for Steve, go Bears. In fact, we'll do that right there. That looks even better. All right, thanks everybody. You guys all take care. I'll be back with more videos in the near future. Thanks as always for watching, and take care.